guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello, hi, I'm Jyotsna and I make a lot of book related videos on this channel, and I read a lot of contemporary, literary, fiction and historical and political non-fiction. So basically, if you're interested in these topics, if you're interested in books in general, please consider subscribing, please consider liking this video. I don't usually say this in my videos, and it's only recently that I've started saying all of this in my videos because I think that it's kind of effective. But that being said, today we are doing the Jan 2022 wrap up. Yes, this is the first wrap up of the year. I am extremely excited because I have had a very good reading month. The year started on a very bad note for me because I fell sick, but I have recovered and I could finish like 7 or so books, and that is awesome. So if you're wondering why am I like ticked up like this, it's because I'm filming this on a Saturday, right? And this is supposed to go up tomorrow. The thing is, today is my birthday as per the regional calendar, so it's not like the exact birthday as per the Gregorian calendar. It's the birthday as per the the Hindu calendar basically, and that's why yeah, I was celebrating it and I was decked up. I had also like worn a typical Kerala sari as well. So yeah, all of that happened, and here I'm finally back wearing my beautiful kurti that my mom stitched. Okay, so yeah, I mean, this is just FYI, unwanted information, but you can seriously skip to the books now. So yes, if you skip to the books, then you're at the right place because this is where the bookish stuff starts. The thing is that in this particular month, I've had some great reads, and I'll be talking about them one by one in the order of reading, and all the timestamps will be there in the description box. I suggest that you go and check out the timestamps if you're really impatient. But that being said, let me start with the first book that I finished this year, and that was The Shining by Stephen King. And let me tell you, I absolutely loved this book. This was a 5-star read for me, and it's specifically a 5-star read because of the way King has written this book. Okay, now I am not like a huge paranormal reader or like a watcher, but I really love like true paranormal stories. I'm like a dark Reddit fan, right? But this book is absolutely thrilling. It's a page turner, and if you're looking for some paranormal stuff to read during Halloween or any time during the year, this is a very nice book to read. Now, I won't call this more of like a paranormal thriller because I feel like there are a lot of psychological elements in the book that's been portrayed in a very nice manner. And of course, if I tell you what the psychological elements are, it would be a spoiler, so I don't want to do that. But get into the book not being scared, because if you're scared to read the book, then it's not going to be a good thing. I suggest that you get into it knowing that it's more of a psychological thriller than paranormal thriller. But my point is that it's a very nice read. It's a nice listen because I listened to the audiobook of this particular a book, and I would say that give it time. Like, that's all I can say. Give it time, let the plot build up, because it comes together beautifully at the end because it's that well written. So the next book I finished was 9 Conversations Before You Say I Do. Something like that, something on those lines. And this was actually a book that I picked up totally on a whim, thinking that it's just like a 150-page book and I can finish it like in 2021 itself. But unfortunately, that did not happen. I kind of like laid off the book for a while, and I thought that it was, getting a bit heavy. And so I just decided that I'll leave it. And I may DNF it, but I didn't DNF it because when I was sick, I did have time to invest in reading. So that's why I ended up finishing the book. And this book is basically like a 4 stars for me because it talks about some very important topics that you should talk about your partner if you're planning to get married. And more importantly, it's also like a kind of book that's written by a marriage counselor. So it's interesting for sure. So if you're looking for some book on the subject, then you should read it. For me, I think I was a bit put off by like the biblical references because it's a very Christian type marriage, because it's a book based in the US, and it's a book that talks about a lot of Christian ethics when it comes to marriage, and that religious angle did not really like impress me. But otherwise, there are a lot of questions in this book that you can use in order to ask your future partner. There are a lot of questions that you can use to decide whether you should marry a particular person or not. And I really like it. I like it for the content, but then of course I had some problems with the biblical stuff and the Christian stuff that was mentioned in the book. So the next book that I read this month was Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, and I picked this up simply on a whim because I decided that I had to, satisfy my paranormal appetite after reading and completing The Shining. So it was like immediately I finished The Shining, I, was thinking about which book should I read next. I was looking at my wish list and I found out that I'm meaning to read Home Before Dark since a very long time. Now again, this is a 4 stars for me, and the reason why I like this book a lot is because of its like twists and turns, and this kind of does borderline on the paranormal, and I absolutely like the fact that it could satisfy that paranormal appetite that I had, and that hangover, it could satisfy that particular hangover, right? If you are a fan of paranormal books, or if you're not a fan of paranormal books per se and you're still looking into getting into paranormal stuff, then this is a very good book to read. I mean, I think before you read The Shining, because The Shining is like the epitome of paranormal or psychological thrillers per se, but this book is an epitome of like paranormal thriller. Okay, of course I'm not going to give any spoilers for it, but let me just say that I found that this book was pretty much well written and it has like kind of a critical acclaim around it. But if you read a lot of thrillers in your life, then maybe this is not the book for you, because I liked it. I mean, it was just a 4 because I really liked it a lot, but it was not a complete 5 because I kind of like was expecting a few things to happen. But there were also many places where I was like, oh, this is a very nice twist, or this is a very nice, way to portray a certain like delusion or a situation like that. Because, many people call people who viewed paranormal instances very delusional. And the number of times I've said paranormal in this video is a lot, but you get my point. My point is, if you are looking forward to like a very scary read, or if you're like a scary cat, this is a book that you should try because it really satisfies a paranormal appetite per se. And that being said, the next book that I finished was this one. This is The Master and Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov. Let me just tell you that it's a brilliant read. If you have not read Russian literature before, then this is the book to read. Okay, this is the book. It's a very good introduction to Russian literature, although other Russian authors don't write like this guy. It's a pretty good introduction. It's actually a satire, and before you get into this book, you need to know how the 1930s was, how Stalinist Russia was. Then only can you understand the context, and the more you read it, the more crazier it gets. Okay, like there's a separate fan following for this book in itself. And my favorite quote from the entire book, that's the most famous quote from this book, and that is, "Manuscripts don't burn." Okay, and it talks about a lot of instances, in Russia where there was a lot of censorship. There was a lot of, I would say, the government just didn't like putting out a lot of stuff because they were dwelling in propaganda. And I must say, if you are looking for a good Russian read, this is the one to go for. So the next book that I read is All About Love by Bell Hooks. And to be honest, I have very, very mixed feelings about this book. I just feel like this book is a bit, what do I say, like, I don't know, like, Bell Hooks is not an author for everyone. Okay, now I like this book. I gave it 4 stars, but I didn't love this book like a lot of other people. The thing is that this book did make me relive through some trauma, and it kind of talks about love, the absence of love, and all the types of love that you'll encounter in this particular world. Okay, it's a very interesting book for sure, because it talks about like love as a very deep and concentrated subject, which I absolutely appreciate, because if you are someone who really loves to like read on simple topics in a philosophical or a sociological manner, then this is the book to read, especially when it comes to love, right? But for me, it was not like a very easy read. There were many times like during the book where I was just like, like this is making me feel something, this is triggering me now, and that's why I did not enjoy it completely. However, if you're someone who is looking forward to read sociological nonfiction or philosophical nonfiction, maybe this is a good book to read. it's a different experience for everyone, and I think that is the beauty of this particular book. And then we get to the second last book that I finished this month, and that is this chonky boy, The Ivory Throne, The Chronicles of the House of Travancore by Manu S. Pillai. Okay, I have so many thoughts about this book. As you know, you're watching this on Saturday, so I also posted like my review on Instagram for this. I absolutely love it. It's a very well researched book. It took the author 6 years to actually research and complete writing this book, and that in itself is so brilliant, right? First of all, let me tell you, like the actual book size, if you get the paperback, you get the paperback is 555 pages. Okay, and the rest of the pages, like it goes to like 675 or some 650 pages. No, it goes to like 690 pages. Oh my god, I didn't realize that. Yeah, 694 pages. So out of that 555 pages would be like the content that you read, and the rest of the 100 or so pages are just notes, like literally just notes. Okay, it's very interesting. It talks about the House of Travancore, and it starts from the period when the house or the royals were like pretty much diminished, and then comes this guy called Martanda Varma, and then that's how like the story unfolds. It's literally like reading like a thriller, and if you're a fan of like Indian history, this is the book to read. Like this is historical nonfiction, Indian historical nonfiction, and this is one of my best reads already this year. I am so glad that I read this book in Jan itself. I would say that the thing is that you need to give the book time. It's not something that you finish overnight, right? It's something that you take your time with. It took me 1 month to finish it because I started this in the last week of December. So it took me like literally 1 month. Like I started on 24th December and I finished this on 26th Jan. So it's something that demands your time. It's something that you need to sit back and process. But after you finish the book, it's a very rewarding experience. Okay, so I highly recommend it. If you're a fan of Indian history, Indian historical nonfiction like me, please read it. It's my recommendation of the month. And that being said, the last book that I read this month, and this was again on a complete whim, and that is Bad Blood by John Carey Roux. I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly, the surname specifically, because he's a French-American journalist who actually exposed Theranos, Elizabeth Holmes, and Sunny Balwani. This is a non-fiction true crime story, and it's written in a very thrilling way. I've never finished like an 11-hour audiobook in like 24 hours in my life, and it's the first time I've done that. It's a brilliant audiobook read by Will Dameron, which kind of talks about Theranos, how it started, what happened, then it's like a sequence of events, and when did like an investigative journalist like John Carey Roux actually come into the picture. The book is pretty thrilling if you're looking for like corporate true crime, or if you're looking to read some investigative reporting. This is a very well written book for sure. Now, a bit of a background if you do not know who Theranos or Elizabeth Holmes is, you can of course Google. So Theranos was a Silicon Valley startup that started like somewhere in 2004 or so, and it was started by a Stanford dropout called Elizabeth Holmes, and the idea was to have like home blood testing kits where people would not have to go to like a specific pathology lab to test their blood, but they could do it at home. The twist is that the kits never worked. Okay, like the kits that they developed never worked, or it gave some false result, due to which there were a lot of like issues that were there internally. Now, when you read the book, you'll understand the extent of the issue because I'm just giving you a gist. But again, if you're in the medical science field and you do not know about Theranos yet, I think this is a time to read because, again, thrilling, a page turner, a great piece of investigative. Oh, I just pooped my mic, but it's okay. A great piece of investigative journalism. And yes, that's it. Those are the books that I read this year. And if you are asking me, did I finish my January TBR? Yes, I did finish my January TBR, and that's the exact reason why this video is coming up on 30th January, because I had planned to read like 4 books this month. And the first one was The Ivory Throne, Master Margarita, All About Love, and also I was planning to read The Shining. But then turns out that a lot more books could fit into my schedule. I finished my initial 4 books, and then I could also read 9 Conversations, Home Before Dark, and Bad Blood, which is actually pretty awesome if you ask me, because 3 more books as compared to the initial 4. So yes, that being said, it's been a great reading month, and that's why this early wrap up is coming up. And I will see you next Sunday. Okay, so next Sunday is my actual birthday, by the way. But you know what? Yeah, I mean, I'm very excited, but I do have a video plan for that day as well. So hope to see you tuned in. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.